Well, here's my V2 goggles after about 6 or 7 hours playing with them today. And actually I was able to get closer to trees and bushes and flowers and stuff without cutting them up. It really depends on the focus that you have, I think. It's really important. And also be sure that you can leave on the plastic. This headset, I'm not sure why, but the plastic was sort of taken off. I didn't have a protective sleeve on it, so that's strange. That's maybe why it's got the fine scratch in the lens, but it doesn't really detract from it, so it's not a big deal. But light leakage wasn't a big deal with my face, at least, and I'm pretty square-faced, rectangle. So I added these Mickey Mouse ears. That's what I'm going to call this mod, is a Mickey Mouse mod for the V2 Quantum HUD goggles. Make a couple of ears out of foam and put half an ear on the back, and then line that half an ear up to this curve so that you have the tops of your corners of your goggle set shielded from the sun, and you'll get total blackout with that. From this side I can show you here, and I've glued those in there so they'll stay on through transportation. I've got a case for this already, so there you go. And then I put a nice piece of foam on the nose, that helps. And then I put cheek pads at the bottom corners, and those prevent light coming in from the bottom. So I've got a really, really dark, leak-proof, even in sunlight, view of the screen. And the Fresnel lens, I think, is the least magnified, and I've got it pulled right to the front of my face, basically, trying to adjust it the most. As far as that goes, I crazy glued the knobs on the sides before I put the lens in, so I wouldn't damage the lens. But I would suggest that. It says don't glue them, but honestly I would glue them, and I might even use a thicker foam as the friction point, because this soft foam that they use is sort of like the stuff you find in like a speaker or something like that on the front of a speaker grill from the 70s. It's not really a dense foam, so it doesn't hold the position of the lens that well. So you might want to use 3/8, I think it would be, weather stripping instead to wedge your lens adjustment in there, and maybe put some thread around the knobs as you attach them when you snap them on with CA or something before putting a lens in. Other than that, I'm pretty impressed. You know, we hate to admit that our $350 goggles or $400 goggles, Fat Sharks, aren't that good, right? We've got to face that fact. But this is a really good substitute, and if you put in the effort and you make it clean, and you don't, you know, damage your lens when you're putting it together or something like that, or you don't get the wiring all messed up. I have no wiring on the bottom, see? All my wiring is here. So I just plug in the power, which is a 2-cell, and then I just plug in my lead from my ground station, which I'm using big, thick RCA, good quality hard rubber RCA cable. So there you go, Quantum V2 modded up, and I actually have another box. Inside here is another Quantum. I'm going to see if somebody wants it locally. Hamburger buns not included, but it's in there. Brand new, so I don't know what it translates to Canadian, but it's a lot. So there you go, guys. See you later. That's my tip.